everybody, Captain Algebra here. It's the beginning of December, which means I'm here with my pickups for November of 2017. That's pretty good stuff this month. Not a ton, obviously, with the baby here, but some decent stuff. So we'll get started right away with last month in my Video Games Monthly box. I got a duplicate in Blades of Steel, which was my fault for adding it to my wish list when I already had it. I was actually thinking of ice hockey, and so I got in contact with them, and they sent me a game, and they sent me ice hockey on the NES. So it's very similar to Blades of Steel, but what's cool about this one is you can kind of change your team around. So you can have lighter guys that are smaller, or you can have bigger guys that are slower but they're stronger, and you can mix and match, which is kind of cool. Still very fun game. Not sure which one I prefer yet. And then got a couple games on my PSP. So last month I got a PSP from my buddy. And I asked for some recommendations, and then Alex Evans actually recommended this first game, and that's Coded Arms. So it's a first-person shooter. Only played a little bit of it. It's pretty fun. I like it so far, so I'm excited to get a little more time into that. So thanks, Alex, for the recommendation. And then while I was thinking of PSP games, couldn't believe that I didn't think of these games earlier that I needed to pick up, and that would be the God of War, Ghosts of Sparta, and the God of War, Chains of Olympus. So I'm a huge God of War fan. Have all the ones on PS2. I've got the third one remastered on PS4. I've always loved them, and so I had to pick these up. They're fun. They look just as good as they do on the PS2. One thing about it's a little weird to get used to since it doesn't have the dual analog sticks, where one you move around, one you can roll out of the way to dodge. This time you actually have to hold L and R and then move to dodge. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's still really good. And then also, while I was on eBay, huge Star Wars fans, and I've always heard of these games, and I never gave them a chance because they're an RPG, but figured, gotta try them out, and that would be Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, and Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. So excited to get into those a little bit. I just tested them out, didn't record any gameplay, but a huge Star Wars fan, and I just read, actually, the book Revan, which is about the character Darth Revan, which is in this first game. So very excited to try it out. Next, went to GameStop. I don't go there very often, but figured I'd check out if they had any deals going on. Picked up a few games. First one, going along with the old Star Wars thing, I got the first Star Wars Battlefront, the Deluxe Edition. So this is an excellent game. My buddy Seth and I play it quite a bit when I go over to game at his place. So you can kind of do like a death match where the first to 100 wins, but you can also do story mode and go through like waves of enemies. Those waves are a lot easier when you're working with a teammate, because I think there's 15 waves, and I don't know, 4 times an AT-ST shows up, and if you don't get the escape pod, which sometimes I didn't make it, or I didn't defend it well enough, and it blew up, so I had to just use my regular gun because I didn't have the ion torpedoes. Made it a little tougher, but it's actually an excellent game. It looks really good. I'm sure I'll pick up Battlefront 2 at some point, not any time in the near future with all the controversy surrounding it, with all the microtransactions and stuff. But still, first one is excellent. Next one we'll go with, saw Matt, the LJN Defender, or Cygnus the Destroyer, reviewed this game, and it looked pretty good, and I liked the original game on the Sega Genesis, and it's Bubsy, the Woolly Strike Back. So Bubsy, when he went to 3D, it kind of ruined him, but his original game was pretty good, and this one actually is quite fun so far. The controls take a little bit time to get used to. There's a pounce button when you press, I think it's square, but you have to be the correct distance away and time it right, otherwise you end up just jumping back and forth over the enemies. You can also jump on them. It also is a really cool feature that if you press triangle, you kind of do a jump and then you glide, which can help you pick up some of the wool. But so far I'm enjoying it. Seems like a lot of fun, and it's pretty cheap, so check that one out. And the last PS4 game was one I've been looking for a while. My buddy Seth recommended to me. I just hadn't found it, and that is Shovel Knight for the PS4. So Shovel Knight came out for a bunch of systems, but I wanted to be on the PS4. So it's kind of like a callback to, you know, retro games like the NES. So it has that kind of style, the music, everything really, really cool. This game's so good. Back in the day gamer, I think this could even make you buy a newer gen system, because I think you'd love it. What's also really cool about it, it actually does come with an instruction manual, which you don't see games come with anymore, which I miss. You know, everything's in the game now, which is kind of stupid. I like having the physical thing. But so far I love it. The music is fantastic. The platforming is solid. Controls are great. So you just go around killing other knights because the enchantress is taken over. And you can dig things like these piles of dirt to get gold and gems and stuff. And there's also some secret areas to find. It's really, really cool. It's got some RPG elements too. When you find certain things, you can increase your health and your magic. So yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't. It's pretty excellent. Next, kind of sticking with the newer gen stuff. We'll go retro last. I was watching a guy did a retrospective on the Wii U since it's officially done, and he's talking about like the last 5 games released for it, and this game looked kind of interesting, so I picked up Shantae, the Half Genie Hero. So this one's pretty cheap. It's only $20 right now. It's the Risky Boots edition, so it actually does come with, if I can get it out, a soundtrack. So I still have mine sealed. I don't plan on listening to it. So far, the music is kind of hit or miss. I remember the first level that I played, it's like this vocal track, and I don't know, I can't think of a soundtrack of a game that was good that had vocals. You know, instrumentals usually better. But after that, the music got much better, but I love the graphics. It looks really great. So kind of, I know it's a short game, but for $20, I think that's okay. This one also has a couple other this one also has a couple other people you can play as. You can play as Risky Boots, and I think as one more person when you unlock them. But it's a lot of fun. You have different moves you can change into, the dance moves that you transform into stuff. So you can transform into a crab and go into the water. You can transform into a monkey and climb walls. So that allows you to backtrack to certain levels to complete them if there's anything you missed. So far I really like it. Excited to try that one a little more. And then 2 games I actually just got today, so they're still sealed, so I didn't get any gameplay footage for this. First one for the Wii U was Epic Mickey 2, The Power of 2. So I've always been interested in Epic Mickey, but I never tried it. I know there's the Wii version also, so I'll pick up that at some point. But I always looked interested, so if you know anything about it, let me know. And then also, just got this today, was Star Wars The Force Awakens Deluxe Edition on the PS4. So I was at Toys R Us, and I picked that, the Epic Mickey up, but then I saw this, and normally you see just the regular Star Wars Force Awakens for $20. Well, this was the deluxe edition, which was also $20. So I thought it was pretty cool. It comes with Finn, Lego figurine. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited to try it. I love Star Wars. Like, obviously you've heard me talk a bunch about Star Wars already this video, and I actually really enjoyed The Force Awakens. Really excited for The Last Jedi. So maybe once December hits, well, I guess it is December when when this video gets uploaded. When I'm recording it, it's a couple days beforehand. Maybe we'll do a couple Star Wars videos in honor of the new movie coming out. But really excited to try that one. I love the Lego Star Wars games from like PS2 and GameCube and stuff, and the Wii. And last, so there's a store that was having a Black Friday. It was for $9.99. Games $9.99 and under, it was buy one, get one free. And then for anything above that, it was buy 2, get 1 free. So I thought I'd check this out and got a couple good games. First one for the Sega Genesis, I got Real Monsters. So I used to watch this show a lot as a kid. This one's an interesting platformer. So you go around with all 3 characters. Can't remember their names. But you can switch who you are. And then each person does something different. Like the guy that holds his eyes above his head, if you do the right combination of buttons, you can throw your eyeball, and then you can kind of look around for secret rooms. The taller girl, you can make like a pillar to get up to higher platforms. And then the other guy, the guy with the big ears, you kind of like toss him to get something like over a gap or something. So that's kind of cool. It's very interesting. I think it's might even be a hitting gem once I get into it a little more, but liked it so far. Then let's go GameCube next. So this is a game I've been looking for a while, and that's Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. So this actually takes place in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, and it's a isometric view dungeon crawler. I haven't played a ton of it so far, but I've really enjoyed it. You have a choice of an archer, a male archer, a dwarf, and then a female elf, maybe? I can't remember. And you can upgrade them. It's kind of RPG elements. But it's really fun. If you haven't checked it out, I suggest you do. if you like those dungeon crawler type RPGs. And let's go with NES next. First one, Faxanadu. So I've heard a lot of really good things about this, and it's an action RPG. And I found out lately, I'm not a huge fan of RPGs, but action ones are kind of interesting. Like in my last pick of videos, I got Ever Oasis, which I ended up completing, and I really enjoyed it. And I think as long as I stay away from turn-based RPGs, I'll be okay. But this one seems pretty good. Just, 10, 15 minutes put into it. But I like how it looks. The sprites are nice and big. So cool so far. Then the other NES game I got was Joust. So it was an arcade game. You ride around on an ostrich, trying to take out other people. And so as long as you hit them from above, you take them out and you can collect eggs for extra points. If you hit them at the same level, you just bounce off each other, and then if they're above you, you die. And the levels get harder and harder. Sometimes there's more platforms in the way. Other times there's less platforms. Sometimes there's this big bird that comes out flying at you. And then sometimes there's an ostrich that flies faster. That's tougher to beat. But it's a really good game. If you play Balloon Fight basically ripped this game off. But it's a lot of fun. And last for the SNES games. So we'll start with Pilot Wings. So it's a classic on the SNES, but I'd never played it. So I had to pick it up. It's basically like this kind of, you're training to become a flight, get your license, your flying license stuff and different things. So you can do like an airplane, you can do skydiving, you can do a little rocket pack. So it's kind of fun. I struggled a lot at first trying to land the plane, but I eventually got it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I love the Mode 7 graphics when you're falling down and stuff, but it's cool. Next, Plok, which is a action platformer. It's a really weird game. So Plok loses his flag that's outside his house, and so he's searching all around for it, and he sees it, so he goes off to this other island, and every time he finishes a level, the flag changes, and he's like, oh, what's going on here? He's pretty funny. There's no voice acting or anything. It's all just in text, but he says some pretty funny things. And then I played the first 5 or 6 levels. The levels are pretty short. So you have a normal jump, and you got a jump where you spin, and you can attack enemies, and you also have this, you can shoot like your hands out. There's different power-ups you can get. But so far, I really liked it. It's just a really strange game. But if you like platformers, it's pretty solid. And then the last game that I got was recommended by JR Man. What was it? Sorry, JR Man 331. So he'd mentioned Illusion of Gaia, and so it's an action RPG on the SNES, pretty cheap. So I saw it and I was like, oh, I got to pick it up, especially since I'm getting buy 2 get 1 free on these games that were over $10. So far, I've really liked it. It really reminds me of Chrono Trigger so far, just the graphics and the sound and the mood and stuff. But obviously, this one's action versus Chrono Trigger being JRPG. So really excited to try this one out. So JR, thank you for the recommendation. So there you go. Got some pretty good stuff at first, the beginning part of the month. It looked like I was getting all newer stuff, nothing really retro, and then this Black Friday deal came up, so I knew I had to get some retro stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think. If there's any games you really like, and if there's any games that are similar to some of these you think I might be interested in, let me know. I'm always looking for more games. So thanks for watching. Video Games Monthly should be here soon, and that'll probably be my next video. So until then, thanks for watching. Till next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.